the thing that at least was the rumor, or maybe you had even said it, was when you started winding down, because I think that was in about 2009, and you left in 10.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why you left was because the PG-13 or PG direction.
It just felt like they went against everything that our business was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really felt like they were just killing our business, man. They killing the art form of it, which was what I loved about it. Well, you know, I mean, just things like that. They were going to start doing things that just didn't make sense. Like, you know, that was just something that we did, man. That was something we kind of bled. You know, this was one of those things
in
that
certain situations,
in certain very, you know, especially like this, when there's a title involved and there's a cage match involved.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes harder for people to really get sucked into it too. They were taking our tools away. They were taking our art form away. They're robbing us of our tools. Of this is how we made a living. This is what made us so close. Man. These were our little secrets. This is what made us special. This is what made fans respect us. Because I still say this, when I think the guys today, they're never going to have the same respect, because we went to war. We went to war and we bled for our fans, and we did all this and that, and it was harsh. We brutalized ourselves, to entertain them, and they respected us for that. The guys nowadays, even if they're willing to do it, they can't. They can't go to war like we did. I mean,
Interesting.
So I don't think the respect factor will ever be there. It won't be the same. I don't think so.
Did you find? How did you find when you finally did come back after 4 years?
Like I said, it was weird at first, but really because the crowd was just so strange, man. I just didn't get like some of the random chants. And they just started chanting random stuff in the middle of matches for no reason. It's like they
what?
weren't like
yes, or
like they start in the middle of CM Punk for a match that even after he left the company, we'd be out there having a match, or even not even just my match, other matches. CM Punk, like why? I don't get it.
Right.
Why? I get that they miss him, but why are you chanting his name now?
Did you feel, as far as like, the old PG-13 or PG rules now, did you have any time where you felt handcuffed by that?
Yes. I mean, somewhat. Not so much, though. I mean, I actually, it was even a couple times when I asked Vince if I could do this or that, and surprisingly, he said yes. And really, like, just simple things like nut shots. Can we
wow, because those are pretty taboo still.
Yeah, no, there's stuff like, is there any way we can get away with a nut shot? Yeah, I think it fits this situation. I was like,
wow.
I just ran. I'd leave Gorilla. I'd just run out, before he had time to think about it. Yeah. But yeah, it was a couple things, he let us get away with, and I was actually surprised. Of course, there's no blood involved anywhere, but I was never really in that match where it was necessitated blood.
Yeah, and these are even little things too, like heel tactics, like using the ref or pushing the ref into the ropes so the guy falls on the top rope. Like that stuff is all gone too.
Yeah,
they say it's hard to be a heel now,
right?
Because you can't use a lot of those tools that we used to use all the time. So
it is what it is. I mean, I guess I didn't notice it that much, but I kind of I always reached for, the golden ring. I always, wanted to see what I could get away with. And if I can get away with it, I will, if I can bring something back.
Well, and you also have a little bit of leeway because you have proved yourself. And in this day and age in WWE, there's a lot of guys that haven't.
Yeah.
And that's why they love having Batista back or Jericho back or Brock or whoever.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of guys that really can do that.
Yeah. Another, what I noticed as well is there's not a lot of guys there who question what they're being asked to do. They don't say, well, this doesn't make sense. They don't go and talk to Vince. They don't, talk to the agent and say, I don't like this, man. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel right.
And questioning is not a bad thing.
Not at all.
Doesn't make you a jerk to do that.
No, you should, man. You should participate. This is your character. You have to be protective. Be protective of your character, of your storyline. That is I'll never forget Shawn Michaels saying, this is what's most important to me. My match, my storyline. My match, my storyline. What everybody else is doing is their business. This is what's important to me.
That's a great point.
Absolutely.